Christmas is coming very soon, isn't it? While we're getting ready for Christmas, I'm inviting you to focus on the major characters in the Christmas story. This week, let's start with Mary. You see, in Mary's day, marriages were arranged sometimes as early as age 12 or 13. So when the marriage had been arranged, then there was an announcement of a betrothal. And when the betrothal was announced, the man and the woman in the marriage were then legally bound to each other. And the betrothal period usually lasted about 12 months. The purpose of that was, for one thing, for them to decide whether they really wanted to be married. And the other purpose was for them to stop any other relationships that they had been involved with in the past and demonstrate their loyalty to each other. And another purpose of the betrothal was to find out whether either one of the partners had been involved with any other people. And that meant that if the woman showed up to be pregnant and the man knew that it was not his baby, then he had a chance to step out of that relationship, but he had to do it by divorce because they were legally bound. The second stage of a marriage was when they had a marriage ceremony. That often lasted as long as 7 days. You remember when Jesus changed the water into wine at a marriage, that was one of those situations like that. It was a long, festive occasion. So now we're coming up to the situation where Mary is betrothed to Joseph, and then tonight she has a dream where the angel Gabriel appeared to her and told her that she had been chosen. In the scriptures, it reads this way: the angel went to her and said, "Greetings, you who are highly favored. The Lord is with you." Mary was greatly troubled at this word and wondered what kind of greeting this might be. But the angel said to her, "Do not be afraid, Mary. You have found favor with God. You will conceive and give birth to a son, and you are to call him Jesus. He will be great and will be called the Son of the Most High." Now that was a very strange announcement for Mary, and she was afraid, and that's why the angel counseled her, "Don't let your fears guide you." Then she says this, "How will this be?" Mary asked the angel, "since I am a virgin." The angel answered, "The Holy Spirit will come upon you, and the power of the Most High will overshadow you. So the Holy One to be born will be called the Son of God." And then Mary's response demonstrated her willingness to surrender to that plan. She says, "I am the Lord's servant. May your word to me be fulfilled." Then the angel left her. The beauty of Mary's response is that she demonstrated her faith was willing to surrender. And she decided she wanted to go and visit her aunt Elizabeth, which was some miles away. And so she makes her journey to Elizabeth, and she stays there for 3 months. When she arrived, Elizabeth told her, "When I heard your voice, the babe in my womb," that is Elizabeth's baby, "jumped for joy." And after that conversation with Elizabeth, Mary found a deep sense of confirmation in the reality that this was the angel's message, and she was willing to surrender to that message. After she'd been there for 3 months, she made her way home, wondering how she was going to tell Joseph what this all meant. And she was very concerned about that. She had been absent, unexplained, for 3 months, and now she's on the way home to tell Joseph that she was pregnant. You see, Mary demonstrated a willingness to follow the Lord's plan, even when she didn't understand all of what it meant. There is no such thing as a faith that doesn't include surrender. Sometimes we have to look more carefully at the whole matter of faith. And this Christmas might be a good opportunity for you to examine your faith. Is God calling you to a new level of surrender? Perhaps it's like when you get a different job. You might look at some different jobs, but then you finally decide that you're going to surrender to this job and you're going to accept a new boss. And then that boss says, well, then you need to be at work next Monday morning at 8 o'clock. So you've made the initial surrender to that new boss, but then next Monday morning, you have to make another surrender choice to be there at 8 o'clock. In fact, for many, many days, you have to surrender to be there when the boss tells you he wants you there. You see, faith is somewhat like that. It must include an element of surrender to the lordship of Christ. That's the only way you become a follower. I like the word follower nowadays much better than the word Christian, because Christian means so many things to so many people. For some people, it just means a Christian goes to church now and then. But a follower has declared his or her declaration to follow Jesus Christ and surrender to his leadership. Maybe this Christmas is one of those times when God is calling you to a new level of surrender to the lordship of Jesus Christ. If we can help you in your walk with God, call us at LifePoint 612-305-8362.